There will be a point to when you, like I said, if you consume Jesus Christ as a whole 100%, that's all you're going to get. You can't get anything else but that. Welcome back, everybody, to another video. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about our life choices, decisions that we make ourselves. So I'll be teaching you guys how to control your life choices, how to control the decisions you make rather than the decisions controlling you. For some people, our first instinct when we do something wrong is to blame Satan for our wrongdoing. But we can't blame Satan for our decisions. For example, if you were to rob a bank and a cop stops you and you're going to say, "It's not my fault, my friend told me to do it." Blame Satan or blame somebody else for why we did something wrong. If we get to a heated argument, we want to blame the other person for starting the argument, but we're the ones that continue the argument to even let it be an argument at all. Or we want to blame Satan for when we do something sinful, for our decisions. Satan is the deceiver. He's deceiving you. He's lying to you, but we ourselves make the decisions to listen or not to listen. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. There are going to be lots of people out there that have the words that sound very pleasing to the ear, but there's no fruitful goodness out of that. Just deceit, and that's exactly what Satan does. If it doesn't impact your growth in a good way with Christ, then it's nothing from God. Everything from God is 100% going to get you towards even more. Now, if you remember in Genesis, when Eve was being tempted by the serpent, there was one tree that looked pleasant to Eve's eyes, and Satan was tempting her that surely you will not die, as God told her that they would, and was deceiving her, lying to her to make her think that it's okay. Now, we can go back to that story all we want and say, well, it's Satan's fault for even being there. But it was Eve that even made the decision to pursue that. As it says in 1 Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary of the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. He's prowling, waiting for you to be in a certain state so that he can just go at you and consume that. We got to take control of our every decision. We don't need to be thinking about our every decision. That's not what this video is about. It's about pursuing love. Once you pursue love as intended, you will completely remove yourself from the deceiver's world. You're not going to be a part of this. You're not going to be deceived and lied to about this. Because if the closer you get this way to Christ, the farther you are from this. You made the decision to follow Christ. That is you controlling what you do. That is you controlling, I don't want to be a part of the world no more. I want to go to Christ, not because of any other reason to go to heaven, not because of any other reason other than he deserves it, and I want to give my life to him because he gave his life for me. Imagine how much life would be so pleasant to you if you were just to let go. When you're focusing on trying not to do something, you're trying not to sin, you're going to, because it's on your mind to do that very thing. If you're focused on Christ, I've said this many times, if you're focused on Christ and that is literally all that you consume on a daily, that's all you're going to get. That is as simple as it is. If you consume Jesus Christ on a daily basis, 100%, and that's all you take in, different things have a huge influence in your life. Music, movies, the people you hang around with, even family. Be careful with those things, because this is Satan's world. He uses little things to make you think there's nothing wrong with it. And I've talked about this before, when something is so normal to Christians, to people, we don't think anything evil about it. Like a movie. You may not think anything bad about a movie, but yet it really is. But you just need to step back a bit and see it from God's point of view. If we look at everything in God's perspective, everything will look as his vision and how he sees people and how he sees movies on if that's bad, or music and that's not sounding good. If you want to start doing something, if you want to start being a more involved with Jesus, if you want to be more involved, if you want to stop getting so angry, if you want to stop being lazy about this and that, and you want to start being this, what's the best way to pursue that? To start doing something. One thing a lot of Christians do get wrong is that they'll work on one thing that they want to get fixed. I want to fix my anger problems. I want to fix my whatever, and this, and this. And they have all these different little problems that they want to fix on themselves. They'll spend time with God to get rid of this, and then this one, and then this one, this one. You don't need to work with God on one individual little problem. God says, cast all your burdens on me. That means everything, your problems. The only thing is that Satan is lying to you, telling you that it's still there. God can get rid of all of those things. God has gotten rid of every little problem that you have. The only difference is that Satan is deceiving you, telling you, no, he has not. And so then you're still going to be angry. You're still going to be this. You're still going to be that. Try to fix it. Nothing's ever going to change. It's been years go by. Nothing. You may say, I've gotten better, this, and this. But what about just freedom? What about just letting go? Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your request be made known to God. When you give thanks to God that it's been done already, God has let go. Not in that sense, but as in the sense of He's done it already. Jesus has died on the cross for our sins. He has done everything already. The only thing now is to accept that and live that. That's it. If you're still living in deceit that it hasn't happened, then it hasn't happened to you. We give thanks to Jesus. Thank you for casting my burdens away. Thank you for removing my anger. Thank you for this. As if it already happened, because he already paid for it anyway. He already paid for it 2,000 years ago. And if we're telling God, take away this, take away that, he's already worked for it. What are you telling him to die on the cross again? The cross means everything when it means everything to you spiritually. Commit to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. Trust God that you can take control of your life choices, that you can now completely live in freedom, that you don't have to do any of those bad things that you don't want to do anymore. You don't have to sin accidentally anymore. Sin will never be just an accident. Things never slip out. There's always a reason behind everything. There's always a source of why something happened. But I don't want you to blame the source for everything we do. But I also don't want you to focus on, darn it, I just did something wrong. But what you can do is when you do something wrong, that you ask for the forgiveness so that one day you might not. One thing that's really, really important, if you forgive others of their trespasses, your Heavenly Father will forgive you. He will forgive you for what you've done in your life. Once you believe that, once you believe He will forgive you for what you've done in your past, and you start living a life for Jesus Christ, you're solid. But when your past becomes your present and your future, that's when it becomes a problem. When something that doesn't change, when something where it's just constant. There will always be lying and deceit in this world. But know that we have the authority to not do those things. If Satan says something to you, you kick it out. You'll get so close to God to a point of when this other voice will not ever overpower God's. And if they're both sounding the same, if they're both clear, this one is just as loud as this one, or sometimes Satan's is louder than God's, there will be a point to when you, like I said, if you consume Jesus Christ as a whole 100%, that's all you're going to get. You can't get anything else but that. It is extremely impossible for someone to consume Jesus Christ on a daily basis with a genuine, humble heart and not be only that. But we've diluted Christianity because of what's around us. We get diluted to movies and music, like I was saying. These little tiny things in the world and that we don't think matter is what dilutes it. How much you want to bet if we were to go and just consume Jesus for a whole month straight, there would be a huge, huge difference in the daily life, from the words that we speak, from how we see people, to everything that we are. Everything will be different because that's all you have in here, everywhere, in every aspect of your life. You make the choices that you want to make. I'm really here just to encourage. That's all preachers do, is encourage you to follow Jesus Christ. We encourage you to get off the milk and we start feeding you the meat to grow. And we plant the seed so that you can water it if that's something that you wanted to do. So that one day we can just be so set free in freedom and we can just say, let's just go have some fun with Christ. Let's just have a blast today. Let's go do this and that. And that's all it is to be in unity. And that all comes from taking control of your life. You make the decision to follow Christ. You make the decision to not listen to the liar no more. You make the decision to read the Bible if you want to. Not that you have to read the Bible and you're like, oh, I have to read today, but that you're hungry to read. You want to pray. You want to do these things because you love Him. You want to have that 100% relationship. I keep saying 100% because 100% is something that is so crucial to me and that I feel like we need to do. If Jesus can live 100% in love, if He can live 100% in peace, in joy, in mercy, in forgiveness to other people without ever falling off that trail. And if God says we are imitators of Him and we will be in every aspect of our life, in everything, then so can we. We are perfected in love. And every aspect of our life, body, soul, and spirit, can be completed in Him. Completed 100% to an extent where Jesus is all you are. With all three, body, soul, and spirit. Every single one of them. And it can happen by just controlling your life choices. By knowing and by seeing what you need in your life. By seeing His love for you and how much you want to change your life and flip it around because you see what He did for you. Because you see how He lived His life. And you want to live your life just like that. I want to be just like my dad. I want to be just like Jesus. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. And I'll go ahead and see you in the next video. Messenger out.